the Lord to get these 2 books out, but I knew in my heart, and we didn't do it for money, because all of the proceeds of this book, after our costs for printing, etc., it goes to the House of Restoration Community Development Programs. Myself or none of the millennials, I will not ever take a penny. It goes in for that.
Dr. Brown, I'm not surprised that you are putting the proceeds back into the community, because you and your church and the outreach that your church does, you are so community oriented and you do so much good in that community. I commend you for everything that you're doing, and congratulations on these 2 wonderful books. Let's give the listeners a preview of what you have in Breaking the Poverty Mindset.
I want to read something that I wrote, and I think this is important. Things don't just happen to us. Many people think we were born to fail, or it's luck, or the color of our skin. Whatever harvest we have in our lives and the lives of our family, someone in our past has sown for this. Good or bad, these seeds were sown. Just like sickness and disease are passed down from generation to generational, poverty, like financial failures and struggles, are passed down as well. A generational curse is defined as negative, failing patterns from our family's history, and they are passed down and repeated throughout our families unless someone puts in the spiritual and natural work to break these curses.
I think that's so profound and so true. And it's really saying, stand up, get with it, and you can change things. But you have to be able to stand up, believe, and work at it. It's not something that's just going to happen.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You have to put the work in, and the Bible tells you these things come with much persecution and much cost to it. And there is a cost, there's a price that we have to pay for these things, and these things come with much persecution, much price. There's a price that we have to pay for these things, and people don't realize that, and they don't realize that, and so what they do is they quit because they think that life is going to be easy. The Bible said ever since the day of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffers violence, and the violent. It's not talking about violence with a gun, with a knife. It is talking about violence concerning the spiritual things.
You're absolutely right. And I know that our listeners are thinking to themselves, where can I find these wonderful books? So let's tell them. Both books are on Amazon, and let me tell you how to get them on Amazon. If you go to Amazon, you just put in the www.amazon.com on your search feature, and their homepage will come up, and there's a sort of a beige, kind of a rectangular box that's pretty long. And in that box, the title of the two, let me give you the titles of the first book and then the second book. The first one is the dates, the year, 2020, by Dr. Marietta, Marietta, Brown, Brown. If you just put that in the search feature and click on it, the cover comes right up. And in the upper right-hand corner of each book, there will be right beside the title 2 words. Look inside. When you see those 2 words, if you'll just put your little cursor, your little pointy arrow thing on those look inside words and click, the book opens up and you will get a wonderful representation of what the book is about. There's an excerpt from the actual book. You can also buy it on the same page. Now, if you're looking for Breaking the Poverty Mindset, you do exactly the same thing that you did. You put the words Breaking the Poverty Mindset by Dr. Dr. Marietta, Marietta, Brown, Brown. Click on it. Again, the book will come right up. It has the same feature. It has the Look Inside feature. Click on that, and you can read an excerpt from the second book as well. Now, they can buy them either right there on that page, or there are some other places, Dr. Brown, that I believe the book is available as well. Where else could they find it?
Yes, they can purchase it on our Facebook, Dr. B Book Club. That's Dr. B Book Club. Or Facebook, Dr. That's Dr. B Marietta space Brown. So that's Facebook, Dr. That's Dr. B Book Club on Facebook, or Dr. B Marietta Brown, or you can Cash App. That's Dr. Marietta Brown. You can Cash App in the memo. You can put in the title, the memo, the title of the book and your mailing address. And so those are the outlets that you can purchase it, as well as Amazon. And we'll be happy to get you, if you purchase it from us, we'll be able to provide you an autographed, personal, signed copy of either of the books. Or if you want the millennials, any of the millennials to sign your book, they will be able to do that. If you've purchased some already and you've read it, and many people have purchased it and you're requesting additional copies.
That's wonderful. And you also have a website. Now, the website is just filled with information about you, the community outreach that you're doing with the church. Let's give the website address and tell our listeners what they can find when they go there.
Okay, the website is drmariettabrown.net. That's drmariettabrown.net. And you can go to the website. You will be able to see a lot of what we are doing, clips of what we're doing in the community. You will be able to see a lot of things. You'll be able to see, because we need to know them that labor among us. You'll be able to see my profile. Of course, I've served two pastors for 25 years before being released in ministry, served the first one 13 years. And on the Sea of Galilee in Jerusalem, Israel, without my permission, he seated me to the second pastor. Served them for 25 years. Been under the covering of our church for the same pastor since 1999. And so you will be able to see a little bit about our ministry. You'll be able to see a little bit about our outreaches and about a lot of things that we do in the community as well. And you will be able to also purchase these books.
Now, I have one final question for you. When our listeners become readers and they pick up a copy of Breaking the Poverty Mindset and 2020, what message, what major takeaway do you want the reader to leave with after they finish each book? Each book is different. What do you want them to take away from 2020? And what do you want them to take away from Breaking the Poverty Mindset?
From 2020, I want them to be encouraged and to be strengthened. And I want them to, many times we go through things and we feel like that God is punishing us, or we're going through things and we're the only persons going through that. I want them to be encouraged that we all have our cross to bear. We all go through things, but just to be encouraged and to be strengthened and to believe in the Word and believe in the Lord and know that you're not the only person and that you're not going to give up and you're not going to quit, because greater is ahead for you. If the Lord could deliver us, He will deliver you. He has no respecter of persons.
What about from Breaking the Poverty Mindset?
Breaking the Poverty Mindset, I want you to understand that a lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things we're battling with are generational curses. And we cannot get mad with our mother, our father, or a previous generation. They did what they know to do. We have to forgive them. We have to understand that knowledge is let loose. We're in an area where there's more knowledge. The Word is accessible. And we have to be able to identify the curses in our life. And we have to take a passage of Scripture and take whatever Scriptures, and we have to be able to stand on those Scriptures and believe that we are going to be the generation, that we're going to see these curses broken, and we're going to have to put the work in, the spiritual work and the natural work, and understand it's not easy, because these spirits have been lingering in our families down through the generations. An example is whenever we go to a physician, a new doctor, the first thing he asks us to do is fill out a questionnaire. On that questionnaire, he wants to know if certain, whatever diseases or sicknesses were in our family, and mothers, fathers, and things of that nature, because he understands that these some of these sicknesses or diseases we may be a candidate. They may trigger down. So he wants to identify them early so he can watch for them, give us preventative care, and it's the same thing in the natural. And so we must be a people that we must put the work in, the spiritual work, the natural work, and see generational curses broken. And I hope the book, it's not just about money, Breaking the Poverty Mindset. I hope this will help us to identify that there is a better way and that we can put the work in, that not only would our latter be greater, but our children and our children's children that may not even be born.
Dr. Brown, you are so inspirational, and the things that you have written and the ideas that you espouse in both of those books are so important and so valuable for people to hear right now. Thank you so very much for being our guest today on Books on Air. It's just been a pleasure.
Thank you so very much for the opportunity. And of course, we're always grateful to the Lord for an opportunity to encourage people, as many people in our lifetime have encouraged and prayed and strengthened us. It's just been a great honor.
Thank you. And remember, you can find both Breaking the Poverty Mindset and 2020 ? On Amazon. You've been listening to the Books on Air podcast, brought to you on webtalkradio.net. You can also hear this podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Suzanne Harris, and I hope that you'll join us for the next Books on Air podcast, because remember, you never know who's going to be here, and you never know what we're going to talk about. Thank you so much for listening.